on the wrong night. This is Friday night, but it is still the Life Be Lifing podcast. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Doing things a little different, slightly different, you know what I'm saying? Um, full transparency. I just did not have it last night. I was beat. Um, I probably mentioned it on Facebook maybe once or twice. If you follow Not Charles on Facebook, but February has been kicking my head in. I mean, stressors left and right. Uh, we talk about some physical pain. We talk about emotional, like in pain or in my feelings, like has it or you know I ain't want to say in the bind because I ain't like Nate. I'm in the bind. I ain't shit. If anything, I got to be the Nate in the situation. You heard me, but yeah, it's just been a lot going on, man, to make things unusually taxing on a brother, and I've been missing a lot of sleep. Uh, yeah, I just ain't have it together. So I saw the collapse coming, and rather than allow it to happen, I figured, listen, I'm no good to the lifers if I'm in shambles. So instead of forcing myself to do an episode last night, I didn't even really feel like I was sitting well with the topics that I had. So I just kind of was like, all right. At some point yesterday, I said, nah. Now I'm not going to cheat y'all and not give y'all an episode at all this week, but I figured it would be easier or it would be wiser even to go ahead and push yesterday's episode to tonight, do it a little bit later, leave some space between the being lit with the fellas of Yo Cuz podcast. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? After getting lit with them at 8 o'clock, I figure give myself some time to go ahead and recharge and then come back at 10 and kick it with y'all. We've done episodes before where, truth be told, on Thursdays, I'm really trying to keep things to an hour. I'm trying to keep things within a time frame so that I can prove that I can work within a time frame, right? Because in the future, if I get let's say I get an opportunity to be part of a particular network or something like that, and that's the only time slot they got for me, they say, hey man, 60 minutes. If can't prove I can work out of that, I miss out on opportunities. Plus, I keep in mind that not all the lifers will sit here. We've done 2 hours, 3 hour episodes in the past, but I know that time is precious, and I know not everybody has that much time to give. So I figure if I could start packing things in within 2 an hour, for you guys to be able to absorb and consume. Worst case scenario, I have to come back another episode because y'all liked where we left off, and we could bring it back up another episode. You know what I'm saying? As Hank would say, you always gotta lead the people want more. Shout out to Hank. Shout out to him. Um, but yeah, it's Friday. It's 10 o'clock. I call this the You Up episode because you know what I'm saying. But at least most of us 9 to 5ers don't have to go to work tomorrow, so I figure by putting it at 10, it gives people who like to let the episode run. So this episode is going to go as far as the lifers take it. Pretty much. If y'all still interested and still want to bring up some topics after we're an hour in, I will stay up with you guys and bust it up with y'all and chat it up with y'all. Um, I guess for as long as I can hang, you know what I'm saying? Pause. But as long as I could stay awake and not so that's the other benefit of actually getting some sleep last night, is that it prepared me to be able to, you know, chop it up with you guys a little bit more today. Um, that being said, I hope you all had a great week so far. This week actually has been fairly decent for myself. Um, sorry, I'm trying to, again, as usual, trying to make sure that the streams are live and active, and also that our folks on the social media platforms have the opportunity to, join and be as active as they would like. Because again, I don't know why people aren't getting the notifications from YouTube. I'm not sure what that is yet, but at some point, hopefully, we'll overcome it. And then people who look forward to the content will have access to it as soon as it drops. But till then, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Um, so sorry, trying to see why it won't. I got caught off guard because for some odd reason it wouldn't post on the Book of Face. Um, so again, double checking it. That being said, like I said, man, I'm having a decent week so far. Been busy, but nonetheless, um, at least we had snow, but at least it wasn't terroristic levels of snow. You made it, new friend. You made it. Welcome to the chat, bestie. So far, it's you, I just seen. Listen, at some point tonight, hopefully, I get enough of you who watched Wonder Man, so we can talk about it. So y'all could explain to me why everybody think it's a great show, because I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have liked, and I want somebody to tell me what it is I'm missing. After the club, it's the after pod, and after the pod, it's whatever y'all gonna do, right? I feel that though. That's fire. That's why I gotta put that on screen. I mean, after the club, it's the after pod. You heard? Um, two pods in one night, man. Listen, I'm trying to keep the workload up heavy. Like I said, with everything that I got going on, man, I'm not trying to short y'all on content regardless. I'm trying to be there for y'all the way that y'all been there for me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all support me. So I'm trying to give y'all, make sure y'all got something to support you. Heard? That being said, see, I don't want to get too into any of the topics that people might want to get into just yet. But again, let's see. Let's see any highlights of my week so far. Um, the snow melting. I hate snow so bad, y'all. I hate snow so bad. Winter is my least favorite season, and I hate snow. All you people, including you lifers that like snow, I don't know what the hell is wrong with y'all. Yeah, I know, and I appreciate your support, my friend. I appreciate you greatly. Um, I appreciate you greatly. I know some people when I be sending them the link, like last week, I sent the link and they was like two different links. So I know that confused some people. Like, God damn, wasn't you just? Yes, I was. Yes, indeed, I was just podcasting, and now I'm podcasting again. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I gotta keep the workload up, man. Shout out to them boys over there at Yo Cuss Podcast. They be dropping content 6 days a week. I'm trying to get to the point where, you know what I'm saying, where that's my type of time where I'm maybe not 6 days a week, but I'm trying to get to the point where I got enough content, I got enough guests um to be doing podcasts multiple times a week. That snow be straight trash. Absolutely, folk. Absolutely be straight trash. I hate it. Everybody who swear they love it, including my youngest son, is something wrong with y'all. I love him dearly, but I'll be like, yeah, you ain't get that from daddy. You did not get that from daddy for sure. You ain't. Um, but yeah, so I I hope that everybody, that nobody got harmed, hurt themselves shoveling, or hurt themselves on ice or anything like that. Shoot, yesterday it was this patch of ice, like I didn't even notice it. You couldn't even see it. It was so thin. but I was just on the way to take my kid to school. Um, Walking to the car, and I straight was on like Michael Jackson type time. Like it wasn't that slip, like the like the Sub-Zero drawing that you about to fall. Nah, it was straight like just gliding, like they could have played some West Coast music in the background. The way I was just gliding across that one little strip, and again, it wasn't like I was about to fall. It's just kind of like, oh, so I'm on a not an escalator. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm on the like the joint where you going on the airport. I don't know why my words is failing me. Instead of walking in a straight line, you get on I want to say treadmill, but that's not even the right word for it. Part of my lack of vocabulary at this point in time, point of accuracy with the vocab. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all been to airports before, and if y'all have not been to airports before, shame, shame. James Brown type slide, bro. Nah, James Brown would be more active with his joint. I was just really on some chill, like, like you would have thought I was on a conveyor. That's what it is. It's a conveyor belt. I was on the conveyor belt with that ice slide, bro. A West Coast production. No, I said West Coast music, not West Coast productions. If you know, you know, y'all. Shout out to WCP, the legends. Shout out to WCP. Yeah. WCP, a totally different story. Um Before you goofy for that West Coast Productions. You had to be there, folks. You had to be there. Um, but yeah, so like I said, I'm glad it wasn't that joint where I felt like I was about to bust my ass or, fall and break my hip or nothing. But yeah, I'm over the frozen precipitation. I'm really, 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 really over it. What else? Oh, so this week I mentioned on Facebook the importance of supporting black fictional creators, specifically comic books, right? Um, my brother in the chat, Fives, man, love you, bro. Love you, bro, man. That's one of my bros. Like you got different pockets of friends, and I call this pocket of friends the brotherhood. So appreciate you for showing up, bro. Appreciate you for showing up on the late night stream. Definitely had to be there, man. Definitely had to be outside for WCP. You heard me? It was a different era. You know what I'm saying? WCP, BT Uncut, man. If you wasn't around for these things, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I know they got a lot of stuff out now, but the feeling don't compare. The vibe don't compare, man. It just don't. It don't compare at all. Oh man. But yeah, I was talking about earlier this week. I'm around like a donut. I like that. Ty, welcome to the chat. Ty the curator, my dog. My dog. Shout out to Main Character Energy. I gotta give them an applause too. Main Character Energy was on Yo Cuss podcast last night, and their second episode drops tomorrow. So of course, give it up for Main Character Energy. You heard me? Ty the curator, Miss Star Heart, aka Star, Sunny, and Dana K, the four lovely ladies of Main Character Energy, man. Y'all have seen them all on here at some point. Um, and I'll be making an appearance on their podcast sometime soon, so keep an eye out for that. Um, Shoot, I feel like I'm saying a whole bunch of ums tonight, especially uncut. It will never be the same, man. There's no feeling like just falling asleep at some point and like opening your eyes and hearing bongos, Versace Parasucos. They don't know about that, man. Huh? Huh? They don't know about that. Shout out to Jasmine Cashmere. You know what I'm saying? She go by her real name now. She left that life behind. But so I'll give her the fairness of treating her like her former life and who she is now is two different people. But man, shout out to Jasmine Cashmere. Good Lord. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. Shout out to, you know what I mean? Tip drill for sure. Yes, yes, Taya. Yes, Taya. Tip drill was historic. Shout out to the brother who might have taught a lot of people they trash talk, Mr. Wesley Pipes, man. I was getting ready to say it. I can't even say it with a straight face. Don't embarrass me. Right there, right there. Well, next me take some out then. Time for yay, come on, bro. You know it. You know it. You know the song. BET Uncut was indeed top notch, bro. Come on, we all knew what that song was, man. We knew. We knew, man. Come on. So oh man, what a time. What they say, what a time to be alive. The original talker through it. Yeah, I do remember you mentioned him at the live show, Ty. I do remember that. I do remember that, man. You know what I'm saying? Also, the hat. You know, I got the brother with the hat. Y'all know him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even got to say his name. Y'all know that brother who always had the hat on. Yeah. I mean, I ain't saying I'm him. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I could put in work with a hat. That's all I'm saying. I don't put in work with my hat still on. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to that era, man. Dang, we was some we was some young pups watching some stuff, weren't we? Oh man. Tim's on the back. Hey, Tyre, you talking? Tyre, you talking? You talking. What a time, brother. Okay. What a time. Shush. Oh man. But pardon if y'all hear any background noise. I got some family kind of making their way in. You know what I'm saying, while I'm podding. So they're making their way in from another venture. So, excuse any background noise y'all might hear in the back. I might hear in the background. Jesus, what is wrong with my vocab? Um, but yeah, man, appreciate y'all rocking with me on the late night again. I hope everybody had a good week. I hope everybody's safe. If your week was bad, hey man, you made it to the weekend. So ain't nothing like money in a Ziploc bag. You heard, brother? You heard? Um, but yeah, so uh like I said, I hope y'all was cool. I hope that didn't, inconvenience y'all too much. Like I said, thank God that that it's not as much of it as last time. It's not sticking like last time. I mean, it did, but I helped a young lady out. At first, I thought it was because I couldn't really see her face. At first, I thought it was like her car, and then I realized she was looking really young in the face, and it's probably like her mom car. So whoever the adult was sent all the kids out there to go handle that show with snow with one shovel. It was a little youngin, like probably like close to teen. Like either she was preteen or teeny bop, and then like a full blown teenager, probably like 18 or something like that, like old enough to drive. But that's probably not her will. That was trying to dig it out, and she was gonna take forever, trying to do it her way. So after I finished, after me and my son cleared out the alleyway behind the crib, I went to help her, get her car out. Shout out to Pink, man. Listen, I wish I had a trombone effect to play for Pinky, man. Like, man, man, man. Hey, listen, you beat me to it, good brother. You beat me to it. If you are not already subscribed, please, folks, please subscribe. I appreciate you, lifers. People watch it. I'm gonna say this every week because it's the truth. We all watch YouTube videos that we enjoy. from creators that we respect or we support their content, and we all forget to hit like. So let's start breaking that chain, and let's start making sure that we hit like on the content that we like from the supporters that we like, so we can keep them in business, so we can help them grow their platforms. You know what I'm saying? So please like, share, and subscribe. Share this tonight. Let's get this chat popping. Let's get it to whatever number we can get it to. Have everybody in here. Like I said, we talking about whatever y'all want to talk about. So I ain't even gotta get to know deep or crazy topics if y'all trying to stay on that era. And we shout out to Jada. Yo, who was it? I think it was you I was talking to. Jada Fire looks better now as an older woman, and it don't look like you know how celebrities and stuff, like you could see, you could tell they had work done. You know what I'm saying? You could really tell they had work done. Like she don't look younger now. Like she paid. You know what I'm saying? It's cosmetics. The doctor did a good job, but like Jada Fire looks more fire than she did in her prime, and I don't know how that works. But everything, bruh, everything. Listen, y'all go look Jada Fire up on IG, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's like, oh, okay. I Sky Black looks different, right? But I prefer the older Sky Black. I prefer the old Sky Black. Current Sky Black is cool. I ain't gonna put no dirt on her name. I ain't gonna put no smut on her name for appearance. But you could tell she had work done. You could tell she BB yelling it. And I don't hate on BB aliens just because they BB aliens. Just to be clear, we are not a BB alien hater channel. But whereas in you can tell that Sky Black had some work done to look the way she look now, Jada just looks like somebody grabbed her, dunked her in a fountain of youth, and she aged backwards. Crazy. Ashanti too. Yeah, nah. Ashanti aged perfectly. Like what they say, like wine, like fine wine, like fine wine, like fine wine, brother, like fine wine, brother. Um, man, Pinky is always a controversial one because you have on one hand you have people who give her her flowers even now, though she doesn't look the way she used to. Um, and then you have people that's like, she wasn't even really all that. So I'm on the side of giving her flowers, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm on the side of giving her flowers. So while we have everybody here, let's talk some current event things. One of which being, especially because my bro is in the chat and he know music. This whole Ferris Harris family jumping that 50 Cent has received because he trolled. Right now, being a fan of battle rap, as y'all know, as I've mentioned that I am, I've even had the homie C Cash on, and not to pigeonhole him into just battle rap because he does more than that. He is a recording artist as well. But I get in battle rap, it's like no holds barred, right? Like the more you disrespect somebody, the louder the clip pops, the more viral the moment goes and stuff, right? But when you talk about, mainstream rappers and stuff like that, and they have these rap beeps. And Taya, I saw that you posted something kind of speaking on like, is there a limit? So I want to ask y'all, do y'all feel like when these rap beefs pop off, or whether it's on wax or whether it's off wax, do y'all feel like there should still be a place where people don't go? Right? Do y'all feel like it should still be no women and kids? I'm always stand on kids shouldn't be brought into beef. I'm always stand on that. Y'all can say what y'all want about me. I'm always say that shouldn't be, it's no need to bring kids into it. Um, and I truly believe women shouldn't either, except for the fact that would make me a hypocrite. That would make me a hypocrite because the minute I heard, that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. Still to this day, still to to this day, to this day, when I hear that line, I get charged. I ain't gonna hold you. That line is electric. Okay, so while ethically and morally I feel one way, realistically I responded another way. So that would make me hypocritical to just be like, Fob said he don't like it and he don't want to subscribe to this foolishness for 50-year-old men. I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, 50 is a sucker in my opinion. Um, that's not going, that's probably something that somebody would say you shouldn't say on YouTube because you never know, you might be cutting yourself off or whatever. But at the end of the day, I think that he is at his age too old for a lot of the antics that he likes to participate in, a lot of the foolery and the jabs at people, keeping old beefs alive, trying to start new ones. I think he's too old for that. Um, and I get it. Beef has been his business. Like beef has been what he's monetized to, once his albums didn't sell, like to stay relevant on top of everything else he's done business wise, on top of the shows and everything else. But I think at the end of the day, he really is just like around to push and sell negativity. Um, I just do. I just think that 50 Cent is just around to push and sell negativity. And as long as people are going to continue to buy into negativity, that man will never not be able to make a killing. Um, you and Ti got whatever issue y'all had, cool. But bringing his wife into it, that didn't say nothing to you. She ain't doing nothing to you, and you found that very unflattering picture. I was telling my wife earlier, whoever took that picture should have been slapped. Because I'm not gonna sit here in front like Tiny's not an unattractive female to look at face wise, but like her body looked like a botched job, and that particular picture captured a bad blend of body and face. That should have been scrubbed for the internet, man. I ain't do her no favors. So whoever took that and posted that so that 50 Cent could use it later on in life, y'all, you was wrong for that. You was wrong for that. Whoever took that original picture. But him posting it to try to, take a stab at that man wife, it ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. I thought that was corny. But that's who he is. He is corny. In my opinion, he is corny. Um 59 years old is crazy. It is, bro. Pac will do that to you, man. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. Every time I hear that bar, it don't matter what I'm doing. It's just like, ooh, yeah, he said that, and I was a Biggie fan, so like, being a Biggie fan, and then his op talking crazy about him, like very greasy to start the song off. You know what I'm saying? Talk about conflict of interest. Um, but yeah, no, being in your 50s and having these kind of situations is nasty. But and I ain't the biggest fan of King nor his behavior or the way he purports himself. But I ain't got nothing bad to say about the way he initially responded. You trying to sit here and embarrass my mother who ain't did nothing to you, ain't said nothing to you. Go dig your mama up. How about that? How about I could eat with my mama? I could sit with my mama. I could kiss my mama. And again, people who know me know I don't play with the dead thing. I don't do that. I don't even really like be the one that's trying to call your mama out. But if you diss my mama, and my mama ain't did nothing to you, regardless of what your issue is with me, or regardless of what your issue is with any male in my family, if you feel led to try to embarrass my mother, what y'all say when they go to hell? I'm gonna go to the seventh ring. I'm gonna go to the seventh ring behind my mama, especially if she ain't did nothing to you. Especially if she ain't did nothing to you. Oh, Oh man. Any piece of dirt, any piece of something that could embarrass you, I'ma dig it up. Man, don't man, I mess around, go pose on top of your mama grave. I ain't even gonna hold you. Don't play about my mama. Don't play about my mama. Don't play about my mom. So King going off the way he did, and then Damani took the artistic route. Tip dropped a couple of disses. Hey, let me ask y'all that in the chat right quick. Tip dropped a couple of disses. Damani popped the one. Whose was better? Keep it 1,000. Put that in the chat. Who had the better diss track for 50? Domani or his daddy? Who had the better one? Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, bro. don't, don't, don't. I'm gonna eat with my mama. You shouldn't even went after that lady. You hear me? Leave that lady alone. Leave that lady alone, cause that lady ain't finna say nothing to you. But her son, her son. Listen, my younger brother ain't no sucker. Let me be straight. My younger brother ain't no kind of sucker, and he don't just let anybody and everybody play about his mom. But the one you always gonna have to worry about if you go after Wendy is me. Every time. Every time. Every time. If you even see Nigel, you should be very afraid because I'm still coming. Pause. But I'm still on the way. I'm still on the way. If you ever get into any smoke with my mama and Nigel's the first person you see, be terrified because whatever he came to do, I came to overdo. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Okay, we got votes for Damani. That man definitely outperformed his daddy on that one. It was the approach he took, man. It was for sure the approach he took, man. The approach was definitely more surgical. It was definitely more surgical. It was definitely more surgical. But at the end of the day, Ti kind of moved like a Ti. You know what I'm saying? Like if we think about if we think about all Ti's best diss tracks, it kind of had that same kind of vibe. Um, at least the ones where he was being like outward and intentional. You know what I'm saying? Like when he went after Flip and uh where he tried to take the quick shot at Luda. He didn't win that battle either. We all know he didn't win that joint with Luda either. Who else? Shorty Low. You know what I'm saying? Like he typically don't spend the whole time just calling you out and dishing you. He just kind of mentions some stuff that, may or may not refer to you and then be like obvious at one part of the song. Um, yes, T.I. gave us his usual, but it was more emotional than his usual. Yeah, yeah. And understandably so. Understandably so, because if you going rap to defend your wife, you got to carry it different than when you rap to defend yourself. You got to carry it a little different. So yeah, he probably was, especially seeing his sons affected. You know what I'm saying? Seeing his sons get riled up. Hey, I can imagine. With the way that Domani usually comports himself, I could imagine that if you saw Domani mad enough to go get in the booth, yeah, you trying to get on the mic and you trying to get on the mic and probably try to violate everything. Maybe he went light for somebody who I could imagine was that mad. He went light. Um, but yeah, I give it. You said Tip was fire. His last album, Crazy. I still ain't heard it yet. I still ain't heard it yet. I still ain't even heard it yet. Truth be told, full transparency, I have still not listened to the entirety of Let Him Know. He did kill Flip. He did kill Flip. He did kill Flip. He did kill Flip. Bad too. Bad, 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 bad. Um, I think 50 forgot T.I. swung at Floyd and was ready to stand on business about it. I don't think he forgot, but that's a good point to bring up. That's a good point to bring up. It's just, you know what? 50 is definitely one of those people that just feels insulated, like untouchable, like can't nothing happen to him. Um, and while I'm not the biggest 50 fan, I would hate for him to find out the hard way that that is not true. But he gonna keep playing with the wrong ones, and yeah, it might happen. It just might happen. Uh, Hold on, I'm checking my soundboard. The reading's not matching up. I'm coming through clear sound wise though, right? I'm coming through clear sound wise, so y'all let me know. Um, but yeah, he moves like it though. You know what I'm saying? He moves like a person who thinks he's untouchable. Um, Omar thought that too, and then look what happened. Listen, no, truth be told, it takes me back to something that Pimp C said long ago. Um, God rest his soul. You know what I mean? Shout out to the pimp, you know what I mean? Shout out to Sweet James Jones. But he said it that all these people were saying they was gonna do stuff to 50 at the Source Awards. And he was on stage, dolo. He got off stage, dolo. And granted, there was some people who was willing to try to do something to him outside, but nobody ran up and did anything to him. And it's moments like those that's what I think it really is. It's the moments where stuff could have really happened bad for 50 and it didn't, that emboldened him to be the person that he is now. Like it's not like nobody ever did nothing to him or nobody ever tried. But the moments he really escaped where it could have really been the end of Curtis Jackson life, I think hyped him up to make him feel untouchable. On top of all the money that he has, I think it hypes him up to be untouchable. Because some people don't want to do nothing to that man because they know if they don't just wipe him out, like if they don't put him in the dirt, they're gonna get hit with the wickedest lawsuit and end up behind bars. Because for sure, 50 one of the people that'll piss you off till you punch him and then lay down on the ground and next time you see him, you a defendant in the case and he's sitting there pretending like his jaw wired shut. So where Daly at? Who that Fobs? Who that Fobs? I'm missing it. Either I read it wrong or I'm not understanding who you're referring to. What else we got going on in current events? What else we got going on in current events? Um, yeah, y'all still got me stuck on the WCP era in my head, man. Y'all got me too hyped with that shit. What else we got going on? Oh yeah, the sun. Hey, listen, buddy over there just chilling, man. Buddy over there just chilling. I ain't mad at him. That's not really his vibe. You know what I'm saying? So um that might be his name. That might be his name. Um I ain't surprised if he don't get involved. Um and truth be told, it might be safer. It might be safer, right? Because if you piss Domani off enough to have to make a song, you know, King predictably crashed out like King once you leave years anyway. Then the money had to get involved. So if you been pissed Mr. Guitar off, okay? If you done pissed him off, he probably ain't trying to make no music. Cause it'd be the quiet ones. It'd be the ones that's the last to act sometimes be the scariest ones. So it might be better that we don't hear from him because the type of time he bring out his Jimi Hendrix and they got the ultimate jump. I ain't gonna lie. If that man bring out some kind of music playing the guitar, tuning that joint all the way up and this man. Oh man. Oh man. Whew. Um, but yeah, it's probably safer for Curtis that that man don't get involved. It's probably the best. We all know who that one relative is. That by the time they decide they gonna go slide, you it's hard to put them back in the box. Once they let that demon out, it's hard to put it back in the box. Like it's gonna take a team of people to get that person back calmed down. You know what I'm saying? So he might be that. He might be that. Um, damn, there was something else. Let's uh, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Um, in my save to talk about. In the meantime, between time, I realize there ain't no movies I'm trying to see right now. I know that's random, but it's like no movies I ain't trying to see. I don't like that the Sixers traded Jared McCain. We need more shooters, and we need shooters. I mean, ain't that the ain't that the Philadelphia 76er way though, Fobs? We draft some potential, we draft some talent, we send them somewhere else, and then they prove how special they are. It's the Sixers way. It's the Sixers way. Oh, you identified who yours are, huh? My mama, one uncle, and three cousins. We don't let them out. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm telling y'all don't want to see my brother. Y'all do not want to see my younger brother. Y'all don't. Y'all don't. Y'all don't. Because all that's going to do is make me more mad if he had to get active. That's why I said whatever he do, I'm gonna overdo. Just because y'all brought him out. So yeah. No, that's a sleeping dog. You best let lie, for sure, for sure. Um, what else do we have on the docket? Oh, oh yeah. So I'm tired of people trying to play in our face. That whole BAFTA thing was ridiculous. Um, and for those who may see this and may not be aware, uh, Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan were there to present an award at the BAFTA Awards. And while they were, you know, doing the pre-award speech, you hear from the crowd. Apparently, the gentleman had Tourette's syndrome, and him blurting it out was his Tourette's acting up. Now, there's many people who debate whether or not that was his Tourette's acting up or whether he was just trying to get it off and use the Tourette's as an excuse. When people have really like genuinely bona fide illnesses, I try not to. That's a bar. That's a bar, Fobs. The Sixers are the airport. We had players here to take off or land. That is a bar, my brother. I love that. I can't never say it no better than that. Shoot, I might have to post that one, Fobs. I might have to post that Fabuloso. That's a bar. Woo, woo, woo. But I'm not here to invalidate his illness. What I am going to say is, and I don't want to sit here and act like I'm no kind of Tourette's syndrome expert, but I do have a couple of friends who suffered from the disease. Not to mention, I've observed other people who had it. These ticks, these explosions, these things that they say, it doesn't come from nowhere. As in, They're not going to say things they haven't heard before. They're not going to say things they haven't absorbed before, right? Like, you don't hear the guy who is, who has Tourette's syndrome, um, but like a fourth grade education, you don't hear him blurt out, you know, you don't hear him blurt out Latin. You don't hear the American guy blurt out a Spanish word, right? You don't, because regardless of the tick being involuntary, regardless of what you say being involuntary, it has to come from some place that already exists. Um, plain and simple. Plain and simple. If that word wasn't in your vocabulary, it wouldn't have come out. And that's just a word that shouldn't be in your vocabulary. So let's start there. Um, you felt like he did it on purpose, Vibes? I don't necessarily feel like he did it on purpose, but I definitely don't feel like that's one of the times where, because I don't know, again, I don't know if anybody else knows people who deal with Tourette's. Like, sometimes they have a big explosion of whatever it is because they've been sitting there, trying to choke it down, stuff their paws, but like trying to fight it or whatever. They feel it coming on, they try to fight it, and they smother it, and then it gets to the point where they can't anymore. Um, However, and that wasn't the only thing he blurted out tonight that night. Apparently, that's just the only thing that they didn't seem to edit out. But yeah, I'm with you, Tommy. I'm tired of feeling people acting like his diagnosis doesn't warrant an apology. It was harmful. You apologize. I 1,000% agree with this comment. The fact of the matter is, Alan Cummings should not have had to apologize for you. He should not have had to apologize for you. You know what happened. You know what you said. And the first person to apologize on your behalf should have been you. For everybody else with Tourette's who's trying to take up for him, fuck you. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. And I mean that. And I mean that. Because your disease did not alleviate you from responsibility. And even if he did not intend to say it, I think the popular phrase now is that intent does not always outweigh impact, which means you didn't mean harm. But if the harm was great, then you still owe an apology. You, at the very least, okay? If you stepped on somebody's foot by accident, you didn't mean to break their toe and put them in a cast. But if you was, y'all in the party, y'all dance, you step on their toe by accident, that joint crack, they got to get taken out of there on a stretcher, and you don't apologize, you're being an ass. You're being an ass. You're not just ill. You're intentionally being an ass. And people should come after you for it. People should call you out for it. Plain and simple. Because you did damage. Thus, you owe an apology. It's really just that simple. And the fact that that's not something, like I saw on some thread that they was talking about, or some coon in the comments. Um, Shoot, maybe I'm not allowed to say that word on YouTube. Some raccoon in the comments decided to say, "Oh, behind the scenes he apologized." No, 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 no. Unacceptable, unacceptable. Because your apology has to match your disrespect. If you accidentally accidentally knock my teeth out on the Jumbotron, you need to, at the very least, go live, tag all your followers, invite me to join the live, and invite my followers and apologize for knocking my tooth out. The apology has to match the disrespect. You can't disrespect me publicly and apologize privately. Hell with that. To hell with that. To hell with that. You cannot disrespect somebody publicly and apologize privately. Even if, again, you didn't intend for the harm to be done. Again, the intention doesn't outweigh the impact. When the intention doesn't outweigh the impact, you have a responsibility to apologize. I think that's really simple. Oh, said it more than once and he didn't apologize, huh? Yeah, listen. No, I'm not trying to hear he apologized in the background. No, if I was Delroy Lindo or Michael B. Jordan, I would have told him shove it. I told him shove it. Because you want to do this. No. Apologize so everybody can hear that like they heard your outburst. Put that in the public so it's no question. And that's the craziest part about all this, y'all, is that if the man had just apologized out the gate, we wouldn't still be talking about it today. Not the way we're talking about it. There would be some, like my brother Foz, who believes that it was done on purpose and not trying to let it slide completely. But we wouldn't have as much to hang our hat on if he had just apologized out the gate. But your refusal to kind of feels like you're not quite standing on business, but you really don't regret what happened. And that's nasty work. That there is some nasty motherfucking work. All right, now, let's see what we got here in the saved files to chat about. How many women are still in the chat? No Tommy here. I'm not sure who else is. We talked about this before, and I say it at the end of the podcast all the time about pointing to an empty cup. But please allow me a moment to share this with you guys once again, just as a reminder. Let's see. Let me pause that because I want to unmute it. There we go. All right.
Protect and die. That's not fair. Why?
Man, that's a great female con. They call you a real man when everything you do is to serve and for them. And they call you sassy or not a real man when you're doing things for yourself. Society, TV has made a man prideful in his own enslavement. They want you to get up, go to work all day, work 40 hours, come home, take care of the kids, take care of the wife, don't drink, don't smoke, don't cheat, cater to your woman, take care of your family, and then one day you wake up and then you die. That's so-called being a man. And a lot of dudes have adopted that ideology. And I wonder, like, where did that come from? You're supposed to do everything for everyone but yourself and put yourself last. Fuck that. I say put yourself first. How can I be any good to anybody if I'm putting everybody else before me? My cup got to overflow it so I can give well. Yeah. So I got to take care of myself first. I got to put that oxygen mask in the plane on myself before I help everybody else. And that's what a lot of dudes out here is doing. They living quiet lives of desperation because they putting everybody else first, and they hate their life, and then they hate their wife, and they really don't like their situation, and then they end up doing a whole bunch of shit. You should take care of yourself first, because when you are who you supposed to be, then you can get it from strength.
think you said that these chicks want you to provide, protect, and die.
That's
not fair. Why?
And that's the great female con. They call you a real man when everything you do is to serve and for them. And they call you sassy or not a real man when you're doing things for yourself. Society, TV has made a man prideful in his own enslavement. They want you to get up, go to work all day, work 40 hours, come home, take care of the kids, take care of the wife, don't drink, don't smoke, don't cheat, cater to your woman, take care of your family, and then one day you wake up and then you die. That's so-called being a man. And a lot of dudes have adopted that ideology, and I wonder, like, where did that come from? You're supposed to do everything for everyone but yourself and put yourself last. Fuck that. I say put yourself first. How can I be any good to anybody if I'm putting everybody else before me? My cup got to overflow so I can give well. So I got to take care of myself first. I got to put that oxygen mask in the plane on myself before I help everybody else. And that's what a lot of dudes out here is doing. They live in quiet lives of desperation because they putting everybody else first, and they hate their life, and then they hate their wife, and they really don't like their situation, and then they end up doing a whole bunch of shit. You should take care of yourself first, because when you are who you supposed to be, then you can give from strength.
I think you said that these chicks want you to provide, protect, and die.
All right. No, I wasn't about to offend you. I had one that only women could answer. About well, I ain't even gonna reveal it. I'll save it for another time because it might be because only women are qualified to answer that question. So no, I wasn't finna offend you. I wasn't finna offend you. But you know me, it's certain questions that regardless of how guys feel about it, regardless of our experience with women, I don't feel comfortable, excuse me, letting guys be the one to have the final word on it, or sometimes really too many of any of the words on it. I just would rather women tell us their experience, tell us their truth about it. And yeah, so I'll save that for another time where there's more women in the chat to have that conversation all the way out. But he said it's the great female con, and I'm going to disagree just from the aspect of it's more than the female con. It's the great societal con that us men are supposed to do all these things that we live to suffer, that our entire existence is sacrifice and service, and that when that's all said and done, we get the great prize of death with good things that they say about you after you're dead. So I love his metaphor of the gas mask, right? We've all been on planes before, I'm pretty sure. And if you haven't been on a plane before yourself, you know somebody who's been on a plane. And one of the things they tell you before you take off is about, or as you're taking off, one of the things they tell you about is what to do in the event of a crash. They say be aware of the exits. So, they show you the exits and they show you where the gas mask is going to drop down from. And they tell everybody it is essential that in the event of a plane crash, when that mask drops, you place yours on first. And then if somebody near you needs help, you place it on them. I've said it on the episode before, and I'll say it again now. The purpose for that, in case somebody didn't really understand, the purpose for that is because it's the air pressure, right? As you're going down, the air pressure is going to change radically. If you sitting here trying to be Johnny Braveheart or, Jackie Heroin, and you think, especially if there's kids or somebody elderly, and you think you're doing them a favor by trying to put their mask on, before you put yours on, what you don't realize is you'll probably pass out before you can get their mask all the way on. So that's two people in trouble. You're not going to be able to, outside of pilots, outside of trained pilots, you're not going to be able to thug out air pressure. You're not going to be able to tough out air. You got a better shot of toughing out getting shot and still be able to do something than you have of a drastic change in air pressure. Like you could gut it out if you're stabbed or shot and drive to the hospital or get somebody, the adrenaline can pump and you can get somebody, to safety while you're bleeding out from said wound. There's people who broke their legs and ran off pure adrenaline alone. You're not going to be able to stay conscious once the air is deprived. You're out. So while you're sitting here trying to put somebody else's mask on, you've endangered them by endangering yourself because you can't help them. So you have to help. You have to put yours on. And then once you got yours on, you can help whoever's nearby. I promise you, in the time that it takes you to get your mask on, nobody else is going to die near you because they didn't get your help. But it's possible. Let's just say you had to help your whole row. Let's just say it's possible that you had to help everybody on your side. There's 3 seats on your side, and you had to help the 2 other people. You sitting there trying to be the hero and put theirs on, y'all go 0 for 3. You put yours on first, you could go 3 for 3. It's that simple. Take care of yourself so you could take care of the other people you want to take care of, whoever it is. I'm not saying that I'm a man who does not believe that responsibility of service belongs to us. I believe that if you are a family member, you have to serve. I believe if you're a human being, you have to serve. Like I don't even get this whole thing that people have against serving each other. Like this whole thing where if you mention serving another person, the first automatic assumption is slavery. I don't even know how we always end up here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the women don't want to cater to their husbands anymore. And cater to you is not a great song anymore because now it's supporting slavery. A dude don't want to, serve his wife because he don't want to be a simp. He don't want to be a bitch. He don't no, man. Service is really just taking care of somebody else. What's so bad about that? Seeing a need and feeling it. What's so bad about that? Helping somebody. What's so bad about that? So help yourself so you can help others. I truly, truly believe that we were all put here to help other people. Yes, to help ourselves, for sure. I just said it. Help yourself first. But also to help other people. I don't think any human being was put here for a singular existence. Like you are the only thing that matters in your world. You don't matter in anybody else's world. So you just exist. No, I think everybody has to share this world together, has to share this life together. And at some point, um, and at some point, you have to serve somebody else. So, um, that being said, that being said, um, yeah, that's why I want to play that again because I feel like it gives the proper context for why I end the podcast the way that I always do. It wasn't what I was initially looking for, but at the same time, I felt like this would be good to share with everybody. This would be good to share with everybody. Make them feel a little bit more inspired. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things I feel like I'm here to do with my platform is to, inspire us all to be better. Inspire us all to be better. Um, what else? I was looking to see if we had something a little bit more funny. because I'm in a humorous mood. I want us to have fun tonight. I don't want everything to be too deep. Pause, but okay, hold on. Let's go. Let's go here for a second. Let's go here for a second. See what y'all think about this here.
When a joint don't like you back, that don't hurt worse.
Nah.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Whatever the this talking about,
Wait,
a
I'ma tell
joint
you
that
why.
like you can't hurt me if you like me.
The girl that said she do like you
Yeah.
and y'all was vibing, it was cool,
No.
but now she's with somebody else. That's way worse.
That happens, and that's
Man.
wild easy to get past. After that,
It's
hurt.
easier to get past a
You don't even
relationship
remember
that
it.
never existed.
You don't even remember that.
It's just about your ego.
Not about the ego, dog.
It's a relationship that never existed.
But
Why
she
did
didn't
they
even get a chance. Exactly. Why you didn't let me try? Why you didn't let me try? I would have loved you. You stinking. Ain't nobody gonna love you like I love you.
Let's run that back again. Y'all can tell me what y'all think about.
When a joint don't like you back, that don't hurt worse.
Nah.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Whatever the this talking about,
Wait,
a
I'ma
joint
tell you
that
why.
like you can't hurt me if you like me.
The girl that said she do like you
Yeah.
and y'all was vibing, it was cool,
No.
but now she's with somebody else. That's way worse.
That happens, and that's
Man.
wild easy to get past. After that,
It's
hurt.
easier to get past a
You don't even
relationship
remember
that
it.
never existed.
You don't even remember that. Type of
It's just about your ego.
not about the ego, dog.
It's a relationship that never existed.
But
Why
she
did
didn't
they
even get a chance. Exactly. Why you didn't let me try? Why you didn't let me try? I would have loved you. You stinking. Ain't nobody gonna love you like I loved you.
All right. So tell me, y'all. Tell me, y'all. For everybody still tapped in. Which one hurts worse? Liking somebody who you found out didn't like you back, or liking somebody who you thought liked you and then you see him messing with somebody else? I'm trying to think about my own answer for that. Which was harder? For me, it was definitely liking somebody who I thought liked me and I see him with somebody else. Yeah, that was definitely always harder for me. That was definitely always harder for me as a young boy. Cause not liking a girl and she did, or liking a girl and she didn't like you back. I mean, kind of used to that, to be honest. Used to that. Like I don't want to sound like, what I mean. I was the ugliest boy, but I wasn't the most handsome. And I realized really early I wasn't gonna be everybody's favorite or everybody's choice or whatever. So you like a girl, she don't like you back. All right, cool. It is what it is. But when, you like this girl and it seemed like she liked you and you know what I'm saying, y'all vibing, y'all trying, you know what I mean? You think it's going somewhere. Next thing you know, you see her liking somebody else. Yeah, that joint kind of stings. That stings. That's where the pain is. That's where the pain is, for real, for real. Y'all let me know in the chat which one hurts worse for y'all. Y'all let me know, because that's definitely the one for me. I got a couple of stories, unfortunately, about girls who I had liked in my younger days, and I thought I thought the feeling was mutual. They was carrying it like it was mutual, and only for me to see them with another guy. That was my experience towards the end of my first summer in this particular summer enrichment program of Rebel. That was my experience. Reg's not in here, or else maybe he would know what I was talking about. I ain't gonna say he could tell you about it because he wouldn't tell y'all unless I told him to say something. So, but for sure, for sure, he remembered that situation. it's a couple of the lifers that know about that situation because they grew up with me too and they went to that program too. Um, trying to think. Yeah, I feel like that's probably that's probably yeah. That's not the worst version of that, but that's the one I always remember just because truth be told, I ended up being like I ended up feeling away, but I felt the way because how the girl carried it. Because the dude she ended up liking it like was, a dude I ended up being really cool with. Like we was cool at the time, but we can't say like we was best friends or, like that was my ace or nothing like that. We was just cool. We were friends. Like, but it's not like, if I'm going over here, it's gonna be me and him, or you know what I mean? If you see me, you see him. If you see nah, we wasn't that. But you know what I'm saying? Plus he came and told me. He came and told me what was going on, you know what I'm saying? Like a real one. Um, Knowing how I felt about Shorty, he came and told me, hey, like, she really throwing me the vibe. So, we ain't gonna have no problems, are we? And not like in a disrespectful way, but like literally checking like everything will be cool between us, right? Because I like her too. And I'm like, hey, bro, if she giving you the green light and she gave me the red one, what I'm gonna do? Say no? Like, what we talking about? So yeah. Um, the only the plus side of that is that nah, man, I ain't gonna say it because that sound like hater. That sound like a hater. But no, I'm gonna say it. Damn it. The plus side is that that relationship didn't work out either. Ah. And people started figuring out who she really was. I think that's actually the more plus side of it is that people start to see her for who she really was. Because I didn't even know her for who she really was at the moment when I was liking her and all that. But because of that situation, people could start to see her for who she really was. So, I mean, it made it a lot easier to let go of, wondering what could have been and all that. What else? Is there anything else important that we have to talk about tonight? Like I said, I was just down to just, chat, bust it up, maybe talk about a couple of current events. Um, See what y'all wanted to get into. Uh Yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I was hoping that somebody in the chat would be able to tell me um, what was so good about Wonder Man. I guess I'm gonna have to ask that question in another episode um, because I just really, really didn't enjoy it the way I'd hoped I would. I'm not gonna give away any spoilers because the show is still, relatively recent. I will say that the acting was good. The acting was good for sure. Um, I forgot the actor's name that plays Trevor Slattery, but I'm about to look it up because I want to give him his flowers. And I normally do remember his name. Uh, it's just not registering to me tonight. Trevor Slattery played by Ben Kingsley. Ben Kingsley was awesome. First of all, he's been awesome as Trevor Slattery ever since that whole Mandarin fiasco. But he was awesome in this. Yahya Abdul Mateen um, was gave up some really good acting in this. Um, who else? The actor that played the director. Um, Yeah, no, it was really good acting about this. The chemistry between Ben Kingsley and Yahya Abdul Mateen's characters. Um, Yahya being, Simon Williams. Um, the chemistry was you it was authentic. It was authentic. It was really well. Um, Again, no spoilers, but I will say that my favorite episode of the series was Doorman. Um, I actually felt like that was more. even though you know it was going to be a quick story, the way that played out, it kind of was slightly more interesting than the rest of the show to me. I just felt like I felt like all the episodes was just a little bit too long. Excuse me. I felt like they was a little bit too long for not enough real development to be happening with the characters. Um, I felt as though they spent far too much time making Simon Williams like unlikable and somebody that I didn't root for. Like I guess that's the thing. I didn't come into it with an impression that it would be good or that it would be bad. I went into it with no expectations, but I thought that, excuse me, based on the general premise of struggling actor trying to find his way in Hollywood, provide for himself, become a success, uh, gets the opportunity to try out, for his dream role. Like that's what we saw in the commercial. Um, I thought that he would be a character that I would empathize more with. But he was really hard to like, and he just made really poor decisions. Unnecessarily poor decisions, man. Uh so yeah, yeah. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, but um if anybody wants to jump on and school me about why it was good, um, feel free. My ears are open. Let this run for a little bit longer before I hang it up. Because I see, I see it says people are watching, but either some people probably watching the phone, the live is watching them instead of watching the live, or what I'm saying, it might be people watching who don't have the liberty of um getting active in the chat. Like, for those of you any of you who may be watching while y'all on the gig or letting it play in the background while y'all on the gig, I appreciate y'all. Um, what else? What else besides Wonder Man? Um, Cross is decent so far for those who enjoyed the Alex Cross, the Cross series. It's back on a Prime. It's been pretty good so far. Uh, Definitely people not feeling a particular uh romantic plot slash subplot. Um, I ain't gonna spoil that neither. I'll stop right there. I'll just say it's 5 episodes in, and I think it's an 8 episode series, 8 or 9 episode series, and it's 5 episodes in. So, um, yeah, I think it's worth checking out. My wife cracked me up because she was like, like she really enjoys it, but she actually read the initial the original books that Alex Cross was based on or came from, I should say. She read the books when she was young, so she's like, how did Tyler Perry ever think he was going to be able to pull off this role? And I ain't got no answer for that, but Tyler Perry got his own set of delusions, so hey. Sometimes delusional confidence will put you in a place where you're not going to succeed. Sometimes it's the only reason you succeed, right? Like to succeed in certain industries, you almost have to have a delusional level of confidence because the statistics says that you're not going to make it. So you have to believe that against logic and against reason that you're going to beat the statistics. So delusional confidence could cut both ways. Oh, that's what I was going to mention earlier. So I was trying to reach out to people about the DC comic that would be released, the new history of DC Comics, the Dakota incident, which is framed around the comic books, the characters of Milestone Comics, Milestone being the comic book company that is responsible. Because I can name a whole bunch of people, but yeah, okay. I could name a whole bunch of people, but in all honesty, the only person that most of y'all probably know or care about is this gentleman right here in this corner, Static. Um, due to his wildly popular Static Shock cartoon. Oh, and for the record, on behalf of all comic book geeks, his name is Static, not Static Shock. If anybody wants to talk to you like they know comic books or they're a real comic book fan and they want to talk to you about Static Shock and they say, man, do you know who Static Shock is? Oh, yeah, I'm such a fan of Static Shock. They are fronting, they are pretending, they are fraudulent. His name is not Static Shock. That is the name of the Saturday morning cartoon that was really cool and really popular. Shout out to Dwayne McDuffie. But yeah, so those characters that I had, I guess I'll grab it one more time. After I have pointed out Static. Sorry, my ring light is definitely gonna make it hard to see. But there's other characters like Icon and Rocket, and Hardware, along with Static were the main characters of the book. Well, I guess the biggest draws of the book, biggest draws, pause. The biggest names or the most identifiable names of the line of the comic book line. So because you had these characters, these artists and writers and creatives who wanted to tell, multicultural stories with multicultural characters, they needed a distribution / publishing company, and they had made a deal with DC Comics. DC Comics being the company that brings you Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, the Justice League, not the company that brings you Spider-Man, X-Men, Wolverine, Deadpool, Fantastic Four, the Avengers. Okay, and not to belittle anybody, but not everybody's a nerd. Some people are casuals. They just watched the movie. So I'm making the distinction for the purpose of the conversation about Milestone in DC. And I'll try not to bore you guys to death, and I'll try to make it as brief as possible. So they needed somebody to help. Once they made the stuff, they needed somebody to help sell the stuff. DC said, okay, we'll make a deal with you to sell your stuff. Problem is, as a result of that deal, and there's a lot of stuff in between, but again, I'm trying to give you the Cliff Notes version. Problem is, long story short, Milestone was smart enough not to outright sell their intellectual property and characters to DC, more kind of like leasing it to them. On a very short-term basis. So once Milestone had kind of lost steam, you still kind of had that tie between DC Comics and Milestone. They tried to revive the brand once or twice. They tried to merge. They tried to merge some of the characters into ongoing DC lines. Like they brought Static and put him on the Teen Titans. Icon was part of the Justice League. I don't know where Hardware ended up, but I do remember Icon being part of the Justice League because they were recruiting a new Justice League at this point in time, and they definitely wanted representation, aka more diversity on the team. And he was one of the people they picked, on top of Vixen, if you're familiar with her. Anyway, so they tried to, kind of get that off the ground. Didn't really last long. Then they kind of tried to have a story to kind of, I guess, tighten up, since they knew that their bargaining agreement with Milestone was going to be ending. They kind of tried to wrap up the Milestone thing in a bow by publishing kind of like an anthology / bookend type situation to it. Then they said, okay, we're going to link back up with Milestone again, and we're going to basically do a relaunch / reboot of all their flagship titles, being Static, Icon and Rocket, Hardware, and Blood Syndicate. And they were titled Season 1. I'm pretty sure I have those. Yeah, like Static Season 1. So it's kind of like, doing this, issue ones all over again. So they did that, and I think everybody got 2 seasons. Did everybody get 2 seasons? I think everybody got 2 seasons. But season 2 went out with a whimper, to be honest. As somebody who read it, it went out with a really whimper. It seemed like they had bigger plans for it, bigger ideas for it, but they kind of saw that the books wasn't selling, so they're like, all right, let's wrap this shit up. And because all the stories seems like they was rushed to an end. So now here it is. DC really wants Static as a property because, again, the TV show made it popular, the cartoon made it popular. So they want to use Static as much as they want to use Static, wherever they want to use Static, and they want to tell the stories that they want to tell, which is not necessarily anywhere near the stories that those people at Milestone who believed in the Milestone idea want to tell. And these things matter, right? Because owning it's one thing, right? Where Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, who may be, two of the white guys responsible for the creation of Black Panther, who is a Black character, right? If somebody wants to take his story and tell whatever story they want to tell with him, like right now, there's a Elseworld story where his son, he has a white child, now through adoption, if I'm not mistaken, who takes over in his absence while he's supposed to be dead. Like that, to me, I think it's a whack behind story, right? To a lot of people, it's kind of whack, actually. To pretty much officially have a version of a white Black Panther, like, come on, yeah. But that's the kind of stuff that I mean by somebody else being able to take your characters and tell the stories that they want to tell with it. Like, do we want, because unfortunately comics do legacy changes and race swaps all the time, where it's like, okay, the character is known for historically being this race, and now somebody else is going to take up the mantle and be that race, and not in a way where it elevates the story, and not in a way where it makes a whole lot of sense and it's a good story. But hey, let's go for shock value and switch up the race. Like, for those who know, those who watched Static Shock, he had a best friend, Richie, who was white. So I could imagine, left to their own devices, unchecked, and not having to, respect Milestone's wishes because they truly own Static, I can 1000% see them trying to tell a story where Static was, injured or harmed or somewhere out of the picture, but Dakota City still needs a Static, and then Richie somehow becomes Static, thus white Static. I'm telling you, I can see it. I'm telling you, I can see it. So that's why it matters, when you have the integrity of characters and their ideas. And again, I'm not mad at changes for legacy characters with race when they make sense. Like you had Hal Jordan, who quit the Green Lantern Corps because he was tired of the missions they were trying to send him on, them prioritizing, all these other galaxies and not being honest with him, and pretty much what he felt like was disrespecting his humanity, and he rather had been home with the woman he loved than be, feel like he was being an errand boy for these aliens. So he quit. So John Stewart, the one that you saw in the Justice League cartoon, then became the Green Lantern. But with him becoming the Green Lantern, became a totally different sense of storytelling, a totally different background. It elevated the character. And then when it went back to Hal Jordan, and then when it went to Kyle Rayner, who was also white, all these things mattered for character development and elevating the overall Green Lantern brand, right? Same for Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Miles Morales. Once Miles Morales got the chance to be Spider-Man, he elevated the storytelling because it was a different story with somebody who had similar powers and had to believe in a similar code of with great power must come great responsibility, right? Right. So those kind of things I don't mind. What I do mind is just trying to sell books with racial palette swaps. I hate it. I hate it. Now I will buy the comic book so I can laugh at it later on and for historical significance. Case in point. Let's see. Hold on. Case in point. Because I know I have it up here. Ah, here it is, right here, right here, right here. I didn't even have to go far for it. So, here go two different comics that'll kind of prove my point. So, at one point, they replaced Captain America. If you saw the movie Thunderbolts, or if you saw Captain America and the Winter Soldier, the Disney Plus series, you saw that they replaced Cap with a guy called John Walker, right? He became Cap. He screws it up. He later on becomes U.S. agent. But let's just stick on him replacing Cap, right? So, the black best friend he has in the show by the name of Battlestar, in the comics, since John Walker replaced Captain America, his black best friend, Battlestar, replaced Bucky. Now, it didn't last because at this point in time in the 80s, having a black superhero that you refer to as Buck ain't really great. It's not really great, but here it is. Hold on, the glare is messing it up. All right, there you go. So that explains why there's a black Bucky, because he's replacing Bucky because he's replacing Captain America. And what Bucky, James Buchanan Barnes, was to Steve Rogers is what he is to John Walker. I don't know why I can't remember his name right now. I'm so sorry. So that's cheesy, but at least I understand the change and why he, at that point in time, was Bucky, right? This don't make no sense. This don't make no sense. This don't make no sense. Luke Cage, Frank Castle. Frank Castle, the Punisher, is black. Terrible. Those kind of racial swaps I hate. And the cheesy story behind it is Punisher's nemesis, Jigsaw, finally got his hands on Frank Castle, sliced his face up, almost killed him. And in order to, because Frank Castle got arrested and ended up behind bars. So everybody wanted a piece of him. You know what I mean? All these people he was going around killing. So, of course, criminals decide they want to go ahead and try to off him. But Jigsaw sliced his face up. He needed reconstructive surgery, but he also needed not to look exactly like Frank Castle. Otherwise, he was just going to get attacked again. So the doctor allegedly pumped him with this fluid that would change his appearance along with the plastic surgery. And it just so happens that whatever this fluid was pigmentation that made this man Negro look like a Negro. So he had white people hair, but Negro skin. Yeah, it's trash. It's trash. It's trash. That's trash. That's super trash. This Black Panther's adopted son becoming the Black Panther. Super trash. All this to say, those are the kind of things that Milestone doesn't want happening with their intellectual property. So in order for them to be able to tell the stories that they want to tell, they need to be able to broker deals with DC that makes sense, right? So this book that was supposed to drop, I know I said I was supposed to make it short, and I feel like this is way longer, and I apologize. But this book that was supposed to have dropped, it dropped Wednesday. Problem is, the book was supposed to drop, the online version of the book was supposed to drop at the same time that the book dropped in stores. Problem is, the online copy made it out several days before it made it into the stores. And then what happened once it made its way online? People put it on the pirate sites so people could read it for free. What does that do? Well, we all know what record labels used to do sometimes when they leak an artist's album. It's so that the artist can make less money. Because if you make less money with your album sales, that means you can't demand more money from your label for your performance, no matter how well the album is actually received, no matter how good the album is. And this is very much my belief of what DC did, that they're trying to undercut Milestone's performance by putting the book in position for people to be able to read it for free. Now, granted, it's on their site and it's not on their site for free, but they know full well that putting it on their site gave people the opportunity to put it places for free. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was people who worked for them that also put it on pirated sites. I would not be surprised. So I made a plea for people to go ahead and go to the stores and get the books. Plus side, I went to 2 stores. The books were sold out. Downside, that means I ain't getting no books. So I'm gonna go tomorrow and I'm gonna see if I can get me 2 copies. One for myself. And oh man, I realized I should have did this probably at the top of the show. But one for one of the lifers who we just lost last Sunday. Also part of a comic book group that I'm a part of. The MAD group, Marvel Anime in DC. One Antonio Medina. Funny enough, for those who were around for game night last year that I did for my birthday, he was one of the prize winners. He actually won a shirt. I regretfully did not get that shirt to him before he passed. So, yeah, Antonio, everybody from Mad, man, we miss you. Rest in peace to you. Condolences to your families, to your family, your loved ones. Yeah, I miss you. I appreciate, if his family sees this or anybody who loves him sees this, just let them know that I truly appreciated his friendship, his support, him just making sure he stayed tapped in with a brother. Random just sending me stuff that he thinks would be good for conversation or just stuff that we, conversed about. I mean, he was a real one, man. He was a real one. Like, he was a great brother to have, a great friend to have. And the world is poor for having lost him. So, rest in power, Antonio, man. We appreciate you. We love you, man. And we certainly finna miss you. With that said, I'm pretty sure that anybody who wanted to jump in the chat would have jumped in the chat by now. It's 11:53, so I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. But before I go, shout out to everybody who at least joined us tonight in the chat. Shout out to my brother Fobs. Shout out to my man Jermaine. Man, me and Jermaine went to high school together. We go back that far, all right? We talking about, from the late 90s, 97 to 2000, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to man. I seen him. We ran into each other around my job not too long ago, man. And the love is still the same. The support is still the same. The friendship is still the same. So, man, I appreciate you greatly. Shout out to one of my best friends, Tommy, you know what I'm saying? The same Tommy who brings us the monthly segment that y'all have in season 5 about uh sex for grown-ups. Sex ed for grown-ups, excuse me, not sex for grown-ups. Ooh, pause. Sex ed for grown-ups. But shout out to her being in the chat. Shout out to my fellow Philly Podcast Link member and one of the founders of the group, Tyre the Curator. Also one of the members of Main Character Energy. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they was live last night with Yo Cuz, and they will be debuting their second episode tomorrow. So definitely, if you're not already following Main Character Energy podcast on YouTube, go check them out. Anybody else I missed? Was there anybody else I missed? Maine, Fobs, Tommy, Taya. I think that was everybody. Yeah, that was everybody for tonight. But shout out to everybody who's going to see this and couldn't be live. But if you see this, please, please, please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate your support. Love you dearly on behalf of A.C.E, my brother who we always be, on behalf of the sponsor of the Two Kings 215 and Life Be Life and podcast, and the owner of Simply Nashay Catering, Keish with the Cakes, aka Denver's mom. Her birthday is coming up soon in March. All right. March 2nd to be specific. So if you see this episode, of course, I'm going to put it on social media, but if you see this episode, feel free to show us some love, man. If you need some catering done, definitely hit up Simply Nashay. You know what I'm saying? She going to get you right. Shout out to everybody, you know what I'm saying, who couldn't jump in the live, but jump in the chat, but watch the live. I appreciate y'all. If you're not subscribed already, again, please subscribe. If you watched it, go ahead and smack like. If you didn't like it, I'd rather you hit dislike if you didn't like it, because at least that kind of stuff counts. You know what I'm saying? Everything counts. And always feel free to drop comments, whether you follow me on Facebook at Nah Charles, whether you follow me on IG at lifebelifing_9. All comments on the posts and on content are welcome. As long as we not just doing wild disrespectful stuff, but we don't move like that. As a lifers, we don't move like that. If you want to be part of the Lifeline group on Facebook and you are not, please send me a message at Not Charles on Facebook, or DM me on IG at lifebelifing_9. Okay. But that's all for tonight. Again, I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation. I hope y'all enjoyed the chance to kick it with each other and myself. I enjoyed you guys for the time that you all were here. Always open to suggestions about things that y'all want to discuss. Feel free to shoot it to me. And meanwhile, as I always say, be smart, be respectable. Respectful. Be respectable is good too, but be respectful. Be patient. That includes with yourself. Be kind to as many people as you possibly can. I know some people make that impossible, but don't worry about those people. Just make sure every single day you take some time out. I don't care if it ain't nothing but 2 minutes to be kind to yourselves, because you cannot pour out of an empty cup. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank you for rocking with me Friday. We will be back to our regularly scheduled programming of Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next week. See y'all in March. Peace.